In part one, we left the story just as America was awakening. Roosevelt had called for the U.S. to become the arsenal of democracy. Hitler had begun to worry about America's potential, and the world was still at war, but the U.S. hadn't entered yet. Here is the part two. It's early 1941. Across the Atlantic, Europe burns under Nazi occupation. France has fallen. Britain stands alone. And in the United States, a nation still clinging to neutrality. President Franklin D. Roosevelt speaks to the American people. We must be the great arsenal of democracy. Those words mark a turning point. The United States is not yet at war, but it is preparing for one. Roosevelt knows that if Britain falls, America will stand next in Hitler's path. Factories hum through the night. Ships are built faster than ever before. Supplies, weapons, and aircraft begin flowing to Britain under a program called Lend-Lease. Hitler watches this with growing unease. He knows what American industry is capable of, and he fears it might soon awaken against him. Before the first American soldier fires a shot, the battle has already begun at sea. German U-boats prowl the Atlantic, hunting Allied convoys carrying American supplies. The U.S. Navy, though not officially at war, starts escorting ships to Britain. In October 1941, the USS Reuben James is torpedoed and sunk. The first American warship lost in the Atlantic. More than 100 sailors perish. Across the country, headlines scream the news. The message is clear. America can no longer stay on the sidelines. And yet, the storm that will truly awaken the nation is still on the horizon. Sunday morning, Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. Japanese aircraft descend from the clouds, striking the U.S. Pacific Fleet without warning. Battleships burn. Pilots scramble. By the time the smoke clears, over 2,400 Americans are dead. The next day, President Roosevelt addresses Congress. His voice trembles, but his resolve is unshakable. Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. Within hours, the United States declares war on Japan, and in Berlin, Adolf Hitler makes a fateful decision. He declares war on America. It is a mistake that will seal his fate. What happens next is one of the greatest industrial miracles in history. Factories that once made cars now build tanks, planes, and rifles. Shipyards in California and Virginia work day and night, launching new vessels every few days. The American economy transforms into a war engine almost overnight. Detroit becomes the heart of this new arsenal. They call it the arsenal of democracy. Men and women work side by side, welding steel, sewing uniforms, packing ammunition. Women take jobs never open to them before. They call her Rosie the Riveter, but she represents millions of women who built the backbone of victory. By 1943, the U.S. produces more planes, ships, and tanks than all Axis powers combined. Hitler had once said America was too soft, too divided to fight. Now he sees a nation more united than ever. As America's factories roar, its soldiers and sailors begin the long road to battle. In the Atlantic, U.S. convoys face deadly German submarines. The cost is high. Thousands of ships are sunk. But the convoys never stop. Every ship that reaches Britain means another chance at freedom. In November 1942, American forces land in North Africa. Operation Torch. For the first time, U.S. and British troops fight side by side against the Nazis. The battles are brutal. At Kasserine Pass, the inexperienced Americans are beaten back by Rommel's seasoned army. But the lessons are swift. Generals Eisenhower and Patton reorganize, retrain, and strike back. By May 1943, Axis forces surrender in Tunisia. The victory is total, and the U.S. Army is now battle-tested. While soldiers fight in Africa, American airmen carry the war to Germany's skies. Flying from England, the U.S. 8th Air Force launches daylight raids deep into Nazi territory. The missions are dangerous. Flak bursts, fighters swarm, but they keep flying. Factories, rail lines, and oil plants across Germany come under constant attack. Hitler's Luftwaffe, once invincible, begins to crack. He realizes that no wall of steel can withstand America's endless supply of courage and machines. Back home, America is united like never before. Gasoline, sugar, and meat are rationed. Children collect scrap metal and rubber for the war effort. Families plant victory gardens to feed their neighbors and soldiers alike. Hollywood joins in too. Stars like Jimmy Stewart and Clark Gable trade fame for flight suits. Posters urge people to buy war bonds, to turn dollars into bullets and planes. Every American feels part of the fight, from the farmer to the factory worker. And that spirit, more than anything, is what Hitler truly fears. By the end of 1943, America has transformed. In just 2 years, the United States has gone from isolation to global leadership. It now commands fleets across the Pacific, armies in North Africa, and bombers in the skies over Europe. In January 1943, Roosevelt and Churchill meet in Casablanca. Their goal: plan the next phase, the liberation of Europe. The message to Hitler is clear. The Allies will accept nothing less than unconditional surrender. Hitler's dream of a thousand-year Reich is beginning to crumble, and he knows it's only a matter of time before the American-led invasion begins. By the close of 1943, Hitler's fear of America had become a grim reality. The nation of businessmen he once mocked had become the world's greatest military and industrial power. The arsenal of democracy wasn't just steel and machinery, it was the beating heart of freedom. Millions of Americans, united by purpose, had proven that liberty could outproduce tyranny. The sleeping giant had awakened, and the world would never be the same again. We have nothing to fear but fear itself.